Rock bottom is a great place to start. And I wanted to make this video to encourage anyone who thinks that life is just not going the way that they planned and is significantly less exciting and fun as they thought it was going to be. And I've been there, I've felt that. And the thing is, rock bottom, if you really just think about it, what rock bottom is this a solid foundation. It's a solid foundation to start building your future. When you hit rock bottom, when you hit the bottom, guess what? There's only one direction to go. It's up. And the thing is, when you become successful later in life, when you hit rock bottom, you understand how it feels, how other people feel. And you also know that when you have success, that success can be taken. And you can always go back to the bottom. But the thing is, when you're at the bottom, it's a humbling experience. It's an experience where character is formed. What do you do when you hit rock bottom? Do you get pushed into the corner and keep fighting? Or do you cower in fear and let life consume you? When you become successful later, if you don't have an understanding of what rock bottom feels like, it may cause you to take for granted the success that you now have. You won't be able to appreciate it as much because you don't have the contrast, the high versus the low. Man, I remember back when I was living in my car or whatever it is, I remember back when I just suffered that devastating breakup, or my company failed, or, somebody that I cared about passed away. When you have that rock bottom, you have the contrast, you have the perspective, you have the understanding of what it feels like to be on both sides of the coin. So you can have more empathy, you can understand other people better, and not live in a world of delusions. You can have an accurate picture of what reality looks like. And if you think about people in the Bible, David had to hide in caves. So let's just do a little recap. David is prophesied, and it's just a story if you don't believe in the Bible, but let's just use this story as a perspective, okay? He's told at a young age that he is going to be king someday. But what happens between being told he's going to become king and when he actually becomes king is quite a few years. It may be 15 or 20 years, which I think is great perspective. Okay, I know I'm going to be great. Why did this whole journey sucks, okay? What happened to David is somebody ended up trying to kill him. The current king was jealous and did not want him to become king, so he tried to kill him. So you have this young man hiding in caves, and to be honest, that sounds like rock bottom. You're out here basically homeless, living in caves, on your way to kingship. And I think that is a great reminder, a great perspective of what it looks like, what the journey of success looks like, okay? It's, hey, we know you're going to become king. It's written in stone. You will become king. You've killed Goliath at this point. You've already reached a high, but then you get to, you get brought down to a new low, which forms you and molds you and gives you perspective to understand what life is like. So that's just what I wanted to encourage you guys with. Just because you're destined for greatness or you're headed for greatness doesn't mean that the journey is going to be fun or you're not going to reach rock bottom along the way. Sometimes you need that for perspective. Sometimes you need that to mold your character. And I think a lot of people, one of the reasons why I think this topic is important to me is a lot of people out there maybe reach spiritual enlightenment or whatever it is, or success, and they treat life like it's all sunshine and rainbows, and they're like, life's going to be great, and oh man, being rich is so fun, and being successful is so fun, having that relationship is so fun, And they paint a picture of success as this unrealistic amount of joy and happiness. I've seen very successful people who've built great lives, their whole house burns down. You know, they're millionaires, the whole house burns down. So I like to have a real expectation that on your way to success, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a little bit of a test and a trial. And let's be aware of that life, just because you have a spiritual calling, even, let's just say that, just because you've found Jesus or God, whatever it is, doesn't mean that life is always going to be amazing. Sometimes you may get sick for a couple years. That may be part of your journey. And all of that is important because you have to understand what other people feel like sometimes. You have to sometimes be put in those situations to come to a point. What kind of decision, what kind of person am I going to be? Am I going to choose to be a joyful person when life sucks? And I definitely want to just encourage and empathize with anyone watching this who feels like life is not necessarily that fun right now. Because honestly, my life isn't that fun. And you got to choose to keep going. You got to choose to continue to have disciplined habits. Sometimes I don't feel like making YouTube videos. I don't even want to do it. Sometimes I have the thought like, fuck, dude, what's the point? I mean, nobody's really watching my channel. I got 6 views. And that's part of the journey. Like, are you making the videos? Are you making the progress just because of the results that you're seeing? Or are you going to keep doing something even when those results are not coming? So it's all perspective. It's all perspective. Life has sunshine and cloudy days. It is both that makes you human. There's no point in life where you will be high on life all the time. All right? It may be for years where you have a lot of really good years, maybe you have some bad years. And I want to encourage you to just think about, yes, there are good years coming, okay? In Madden, one of my favorite video games, they say this too, one of the announcers goes, this too shall pass, but you have to do something to make it pass. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to make disciplined habits when it doesn't feel great? Are you going to say, you know what, things aren't happening, so I'm not going to do anything anymore. I quit. Sometimes those moments are the defining moments. If you listen to other people's stories, those defining moments are the ones that are right before their breakthrough. Hey, I was really having a tough time just getting my head kicked in by life, and I just chose, one more time to keep going. And oftentimes their breakthrough happens right after that. So that's what I want to encourage you. I want you to have a realistic expectation of life. A realistic expectation of life. There's highs, there are lows. Read Ecclesiastes. There is a season for laughing, a season for crying, a season for dancing, a season for grief. There are different seasons in life. You have to understand that life goes in waves. And those waves last for varying lengths. But if you keep going, you will eventually get to a new season. But when you get to that new season, just remember that that season can be taken away at any point. Let's be real here. And knowing that good and bad seasons come and go helps you to be more steady. Okay, we had a good season. Good. We had a bad season. Good. So I hope you find this encouraging, real, an accurate representation of what life looks like. And I hope you use this perspective to be great. Have a wonderful day.